guys, we are back for another Dokkan battle video. So we have the newest Dokkan Fest exclusive here on JP Dokkan. The newest 200% leader, this Dokkan Fest Kid Goku. Now, Kid Goku is very, very good. And of course, we are going to be doing the sort of, you know, usual red zone, no item sweeping challenge I like to do with these 200% leaders, right? Because 200% leader skills and these characters are obviously meant to sort of like, you know, fight against red zone. So, Kid Goku is ridiculous, right? Like, he's like, you know, Ginyu plus level. Like, he's like up there. The problem for Goku is his team. The way Goku is set up, right, he's a ridiculous support type unit for the Youth and Dragon Ball Saga categories, but you don't really have the options to completely take advantage of that. Now, Goku does have some decent links that he can share with, you know, some of the other, you know, Dragon Ball Z era Gokus, right? Like Namek Goku right here, before Namek Goku transforms into Super Saiyan, you know, they share All in the Family, for example, right? Which can give us a lot of extra defense. But basically, in a lot of these no-item runs here that we're going to be doing in the Wicked Bloodline Red Zone, we're actually using characters in a lot of these runs that really, I feel like, are not getting a lot of play, but that's just sort of the way that, you know, this team is designed. And it's like we can kind of dig out, I don't know if I want to call them, like, diamond in the roughs or something like that, but, I mean, keep in mind, with how hard bosses hit these days, there's characters, right, who might have, like, sort of defensive abilities that have been overlooked for various reasons, who could be at least useful in some of these stages. Remember, the way you want to, like, run and build these, like, red zone fights always, is you want to try and, like, really build your team around being strong in the hardest phase, the strongest phase. So this first Frieza fight, this Frieza fight probably works well for this team. In doing this Wicked Bloodline challenge with other teams, I've had issues with other teams, so with this Frieza fight. This Frieza fight can be really tough. One of the reasons, though, is that it's so long, and then Frieza just one-shots you at the end. It certainly does get very agitating sometimes doing this Frieza fight, but we have numerous characters here. Broly, Carnival Goku, STR Namek Goku, Int LR Goku, Namek Goku, who can sort of build up. So that by the time we get to that full power Frieza at the end, we are going to be in a really good position to sort of crush him, right? This second form Frieza does an AoE, but this team, like, we're not running like a bunch of sort of like weak int characters that this Frieza can kind of take advantage of, right? Like Legendary Super Saiyan Broly will have some damage reduction. You know, Namek Goku, in my experience, is able to eat this super attack, so as long as you have some sort of HP regen, it's not even game over if Namek Goku gets hit by that AoE super attack. But basically, this run right here is just build up, right? Build up all these characters that can stack, and then by the time we get to full power Frieza can't, like, really one-shot us, right? Which, keep in mind, depending upon how many super attacks final form Frieza gets, leading into full power Frieza, you can just get turned into silly putty. Full power Frieza can just do insane amounts of damage. So, there we go. There's the full power Frieza fights. Keep in mind that with Kid Goku's ability to give the entire rotation damage reduction, that's another thing that can really help us use sort of, I don't know if I want to call them like subpar characters, but like there's, you know, a lot more characters that we can kind of safely get through some of these fights when we have Kid Goku giving extra damage reduction to the rotation compared to what we might use with other teams, right? Again, Kid Goku is really quite impressive, and he does allow these teams to run very smoothly. Alright guys, now we're moving on to the final form cooler fights. Now, this fight is ridiculously hard, and especially with this team, more so than some of the other fights. I think this was actually the fight I had the most difficulty with in here, right? And it's because we would need like a perfect opening rotation. This cooler hits so hard turn one. It's just, with the roster we have available to us with Kid Goku's Youth, Dragon Ball Saga, and Exploding Rage Leader skill, we just don't really have the characters who can compete against this cooler boss. The good news is that Goku absolutely destroys this cooler. This cooler just does not have enough HP, especially once we get to the second phase, the into final form cooler, right? Kid Goku can just go to work on this guy, but many of the characters we're bringing here, the Goku and Gohan exchange unit, the physical Bulma, AGL Kid Gohan are just, they cannot take hits at all. Zero, they can't take hits. None of them could take hits from either version of these coolers. So this run was more so like all the attacks aimed at like Kid Goku, Android 8, or Carnival Goku were sort of what we had to do here. I think that this run is actually a great example of how impressive Kid Goku can be offensively, right? Remember, you get 5 key spheres. And yeah, nice Carnival Goku, dude. In this Wicked Bloodline run, he dodges so many super attacks. Like, I love dodge on that Carnival Goku, man. I love dodge on every character. It's just like, you get into these fights, and it's like, you can't, dude, you need dodges to come through on a lot of these characters, right? But Kid Goku, remember, with 5 key spheres, he could triple super attack, and he really could do a lot of damage. I mean, he's another character that I think dodge works incredibly on with all of the, you know, built-in additionals. He has built-in crits, right? Like, dude, you give him dodge, then he could do everything, and it gives us a much better chance to win. But yeah, this first phase against AGL Cooler especially was hell. I'm telling y'all, like, I know, like, we went through that fairly easily. That AGL Cooler does not play games, man. He's really, really tough to get through. Keep in mind, again, Kid Goku giving the entire rotation damage reduction is very good when we have to eat that for 430k damage, right? Which is... this cooler just hits so hard. Because what it is we get to the, you know, the final phase in the Wicked Bloodline Red Zone so fast that you don't really have the time to stack these characters up to infinity. So it's, you just get there so fast and you're taking so much damage so fast. It can be very, very tough. Now, Bulma, we should spend a little time talking about her. Bulma can dodge. She builds up when she dodges and gets hit. But she also heals with Rainbow Orbs and when she super attacks, which certainly can be pretty good. Here's where Kid Gohan really can show how effective he can be. Kid Gohan with the heal, then guarding, and then giving this rotation and the next rotation defense. It's like using Kid Gohan in a fight like this, it's sort of like, okay, like he's gonna heal, right? Like he's gonna guard and heal with that active skill. Kid Gohan's active skill is still just so powerful. Really, I'd say once we got Kid Gohan's active skill off, we were looking pretty good. Kid Goku, Cooler, is going to have difficulty, like, one-shotting Kid Goku with his damage reduction, giving damage reduction to the rotation. Very, very, very tough fight this one was. I know this run right here was very clean, but this was, like, perfect RNG on this run right here. This fight was very, very tough. Alright guys, now we're moving on to the next fight here. This is the joke fight for the Wicked Bloodline Red Zone. Mecha Frieza and King Cold don't really provide any resistance at all. I have, you know, the more I've run it, the more I have occasionally had a run where King Cold just is like double sealing characters consistently, and then the fight eventually like Mecha Frieza can catch a character or something like that. But this fight really is just not in line with the difficulty of the other fights, right? Like that Final Form Cooler fight, he is just so much stronger than the team you're running, right? Like besides Kid Goku, like that Final Form Cooler just felt like so much stronger than all the characters we're running. This fight is not like that, right? You know, these opening Frieza soldiers don't do any damage. Only the AGL Frieza soldier can even super attack right here, right? Just a big joke. And then Mecha Frieza and King Cold, their damage itself is very, very low. So it's like you come in here with any sort of decent characters at all, any sort of like fine characters, and we can basically just crush this fight. It's just a very weak overall fight, right? Not really much to do in terms of strategy, besides make sure you're attacking King Cold constantly. Get rid of King Cold first, then you can't be sealed anymore. And then Mecha Frieza is like a boss that's weaker than Baby, weaker than Rildo, right? Mecha Frieza, like by himself, would be like fight number 2 in like the movie Red Zone or something like that. Like Mecha Frieza is just nothing, right? So there we go. There is this fight. Can be annoying with the seals, but that's basically it, right? Just focus fire on King Cold and get the fight through. Alright guys, now we're moving on to the Metal Cooler fight. Now this is the fight that I've had the most trouble with in this Wicked Bloodline Red Zone, with several other teams, including some of the best teams in the game, right? The cooler teams. Both LR Metal Coolers team and LR Final Forms Coolers team took me several tries with this. Now this one, we beat this in one try. And there's a big reason for that, right? Carnival Goku dodging that super attack right there is very good. But this run, we dodge like 3 or 4 super attacks, something like that. We just get so many super attack dodges in, right? Like, this is why Broly is the hardest red zone fight by far, because you can't dodge him, right? Like, you just have no, like counterplay a lot of the times to the bullshit that Broly's doing, right? You kind of just need good RNG of where he's supering, right? I mean, I guess dodge is RNG as well, but it's like, hey, man, y'all see, I load these characters up with dodge, and a funny thing happens. They dodge, and I live, and I win, right? Funny how it works. Now, this fight, right, we know the Cyclopean Guard at the start is a nuisance. He's a menace, right? Yes, we're all well aware of this, right? We honestly, looking at it, we had some pretty good opening turn RNG. The thing about the Wicked Bloodline Red Zone especially is that bad opening RNG with your rotations, and it's just instant death in many of these fights, right? The Cyclopean Guard can so easily just instantly kill you if your opening rotations are not good. Same with, like, Final Form Cooler, the Metal Cooler Core, many of these fights, right? These bosses come out, and they're hitting really hard immediately. You get bad luck, GG, and then, you know, all of a sudden you've only got 2 tries left for the day, right? It can be very frustrating. But we had pretty good opening rotations right here. So most of this fight is against AGL Metal Cooler. He, of course, is AGL, which means we could fill our team up with a lot of tech options, right? Strong tech characters to try and survive against AGL Metal Cooler. Now, you guys can see the World Tournament Kid Gohan, Super Saiyan Gohan right there. That Gohan has a major weakness that I've found a lot of times when running him, and that is Ki. That Gohan can struggle to super attack a lot. But on the Kid Goku team, that's going to be far less of an issue, because Kid Goku is Rainbow Orb changing, and he's giving Youth and Dragon Ball Saga key support, so we don't really have to worry so much right there, right? The other unit we're using that you probably don't see too often is Demon King Piccolo. Now, Demon King Piccolo, right, remember, has damage reduction. In base, Demon King Piccolo, if he gets 5 key spheres, he gets, I think it's 50% damage reduction. Let me just quickly double. I think it's 50% damage reduction. But one thing that, again, continually happens here is we will be dodging a lot of super attacks during this run. Keep that in mind. But yeah, Demon King Piccolo. He transforms on turn 7, by the way, which it is very helpful once he transforms, because then he just has 66% damage reduction for the next 5 turns, which is very helpful, because he transforms so deep that you're probably going to keep that. And then in base, he has 50% damage reduction with 5 key spheres. But the thing is with both Kid Goku and Demon King Piccolo creating orbs, to me, when I've run Demon King Piccolo, I've tried him in the Broly fight and this Metal Cooler fight. Again, remember, when doing these tough red zone fights, you want to be building your team around type advantage in the final phase is the way you want to do that, right? So Demon King Piccolo works very effectively in this fight. There's another super attack dodge, by the way. Again, people called me stupid for putting dodge on this Carnival Goku. Carnival Goku can tank, but what happens when he eats those super attacks? He's still taking a lot of damage. Even if you dodge a super attack with a character that can survive it, you are saving yourself hundreds of thousands of HP. Please understand that dodge can be very helpful, man. Very, very helpful. Pan, right, can be effective in this fight. You know, she has a type advantage. We're not going to see her at full power with no other, like, GT allies, right? Like the GT hero allies and stuff like that, unfortunately. But Pan, you know, can still really be quite good. You know, because she could do a lot of damage to Metal Cooler. Remember, the thing about Metal Cooler that can be frustrating and was really tough, especially when I was fighting this guy with Captain Ginyu's team. There's another super attack dodge. With Captain Ginyu's team, is the fact that this guy heals 7 million HP per turn, which can be very frustrating. For this team, it's not really so much of an issue. Kid Goku does way too much damage. Kid Goku is just providing too much to the team. Support, orbs, and his actual damage. It's just like he's just tearing Metal Cooler in half, right? Not really a big issue. But there we go. There's some Metal Cooler fight. You know, we could use some of these characters like Demon King Piccolo and stuff like that. You know, they can work effectively. Damage reduction is very powerful. right here, this is such bullshit. I'm pretty sure how many, let's see, what do we get? We got 3 rainbow orbs and 8 key spheres. Metal Cooler Super's in the middle slot right here. I don't know if we would have, I think we probably would have died. I think Metal Cooler probably would have one-shot Kid Goku. I don't know. We did get 3 rainbow orbs plus the, you know, the 7 key spheres. But Kid Goku dodges this super attack as well, right? Pretty clean run in terms of super attack dodges. Yep, nice try, buddy. But, you know, dodge works pretty well. Alright guys, we are here for the final fight of the Wicked Bloodline Red Zone. We're going up against the Metal Cooler Core. Now this fight is very, very, very difficult. Not the biggest fan of this opening rotation, oh boy. This fight is just brutal, right? This was a very, very tough fight for this team. I think we might just get some pretty clean luck, honestly, in this fight. This Metal Cooler Core is just so difficult to get through. He does so much damage. The Metal Cooler army early on, they just do so much damage. They attack, debuff you, lower your defense. You can attack, debuff them. Remember, Kid Goku does attack debuff from his super attack if you're getting the unit super attack, right? So if we had his unit super attack, we would be lowering the attack of the Metal Cooler army, which is huge. Now this run, I can attribute our win basically to this guy, EZA Namek Goku. EZA Namek Goku can do so well in this fight, the way it's designed. Like, he can get killed instantly, right? Pretty often. We got pretty good luck that we were able to survive right there. But Namek Goku does tend to get obliterated in these earlier rotations right here. So, this fight can be very tough, right, with how hard the Metal Cooler Core hits, but there's a couple of characters, a couple of things we can do that sort of allow us to tread water until we can finish the Metal Cooler Core with a lot of our top tier characters and, you know, big time active skills, huge amounts of damage, blah, 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 blah. Right. So, I believe this was actually kind of bad luck that we do actually survive this turn. So we could have revived with Carnival Goku. But we do actually live this turn right here. So we go into the next rotation at, like, almost no health. But, I believe we're able to debuff the Metal Cooler army enough that we're kind of just barely able to, like, skate by, right? Like, we don't actually get killed. Remember that Android 8, starting from turn 5? If we're under 20% HP, he can full heal us, which can be very useful. But getting back to Namek Goku. So, we do something later on in the fight that I've been able to get done several times in this fight here with Namek Goku. And that's the ability for Namek Goku to use his active skill, create STR key spheres, kind of like, you know, burn a turn, do a ton of damage to the Metal Cooler Core, and then heal a lot of HP afterwards, which has been very helpful. Now, Grandpa Gohan, we're using Grandpa Gohan right here, right? This Super Strike EZA Grandpa Gohan. He can attack, debuff as well. Grandpa Gohan, if our HP's under 58%, he has a 50% chance to guard. He didn't guard right there, but the Metal Cooler army was already debuffed enough that we're able to, you know, sort of sustain it. But remember that Grandpa Gohan, if Kid Goku is on rotation, Grandpa Gohan is giving 40% attack and defensive support. So Grandpa Gohan, you know, in a fight where he's got type advantage against, you know, Metal Cooler, we can actually, you know, sort of make stuff work out right here. Now here's a turn where we're basically fated to die, but we still do have Goku's revive, you know, thank goodness, so we can kind of pop that. You know, we still have several options left to us. This run is crazy. It just goes to show how when you have a bunch of these characters with these big time damaging active skills and stuff like that, like, we really can provide a lot of burst damage when you're using these, big LRs or these powerful active skills. And while the Wicked Bloodline Red Zone can be very tough, because it's like, early in these fights, we're in like a really tough fight, the thing about it as well is that these boss fights are short. They don't have that much health. So especially, right, like against this Metal Cooler Core right here, that health bar he's got right there, that's it. So if we could just bully this guy, doing a huge amount of damage, like, very fast with all these active skills and shit like that, we can be out of here very, very quickly. And then the other thing that happens, too, is, remember, I mean, Kid Goku, he can do insane amounts of damage, especially on a rotation where you use Kid Goku's active skill. He gains a 59% chance to crit for the turn, just like Pan does on her active skill. So we could pop Kid Goku's active skill, crit, and then triple crit afterwards, and just take off just huge amounts of health from, like, look at this. Look at the damage Kid Goku does right here with the triple super. Like, that is the type of shit that makes him #1. Doing that while also giving the rotation support, while also giving the rotation damage reduction, and Rainbow Orb changing, right? Like, Kid Goku is just a very dominant character, and then that's it, right? Just Kid Goku doing as much damage as he did on this turn, no super attack on Grandpa Gohan, and then bam, like, I'm pretty sure this is it, like, we won. Because now, I could pop, Namek Goku's Rage mode right here, and the main reason I want to do this one first, right, is to provide us with more STR key spheres. Because it's like, we can sort of, do his Rage mode, create a bunch of STR key spheres. Then, we can go through the turn. He'll do a lot of damage right here. And then we go into the next rotation. And then all those key spheres are there that we can then just heal up with Namek Goku. I found this Rage mode is just so crazy. So I think there's 2 ways they can make Great Ape, or Rage modes incredibly good. One is the AGL Cell method, where they do guaranteed crits. And then this right here with this guy, where he double orb changes, but so it's like you transform with him, and then you set the next turn up beautifully with key spheres, right? So it's like, that's another great way to sort of take advantage of these Rage characters. And then at that point, it's like, we're now stacking all these active skill attacks on top of each other, that the Metal Cooler Core just gets blown to hell with all this damage. Now you can quickly see, it's like, we took out his full health in 2 turns with all these characters and their powerful active skills, right? So there we go. There's the Wicked Bloodline Red Zone no items with all these teams. There are, some options we could slide on the teams here and there, like that Tech World Tournament Kid Gohan, Demon King Piccolo, Grandpa Gohan, right? And it's like, you get some good RNG that those, weaker characters are not bullied. You have characters who can really take these hits and take these damage, like, Carnival Goku, Namek Goku, Kid Goku, and then, you're off to the races. You can win. GG. So let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.